All right. So there's this series that keeps popping on my feed, um, called, I think it's called Homestead, and uh, and it's a doomsday series. It's basically a series. It's basically telling you, it's showing you like a grid down, the beginnings of grid down and attacks on the grid, gradually, uh, uh, from what it looks like in the U.S. and 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 the father kept hammering me. uh, you have to go talk about this, you have to talk about this. So so here's what the father put in my heart. The show shows prepared individuals, prepared individuals, um, like ex-military, ex-combat, special forces type. That's what they're depicting in the trailer for the show. And uh, and then they show that, they have an acquaintance, which is a rich guy that has been prepping for a long time for the big one. That's how they phrase it. He's been prepping for the big one. So the guy, the one special forces guy or military guy, calls his other military buddy, and they grab their families and they head over there. And then this starts to show you how, the potential nuclear attacks in major metropolitan areas and things like that. Um, the whole doomsday. The devil's literally telling you, everything that any prepper, uh, minded, individual has been thinking about. All of that. The trailer's telling you exactly that. So here's when the father comes in and started tapping on my brain, um, for me to convey this message. And it's mostly for those that claim to be, uh, people of the Father, right? People of Yah, people, believers, and people of faith. Okay, this message is mostly for you, right? Um, what will you do, men of faith? Right? You're a man of faith. You're a man of you're a man of of the Father's goodness, right? Okay. What will you do when those individuals, that the scenario happens, right? And those individuals that never really saw or understood, and they were too blinded and indoctrinated, you know, end up at your doorstep with their children. Now you will definitely have the provisions to take care of them for a time. And granted, the thoughts immediately are going to go through your mind as, I have this much preps for this amount of time, for the amount of people that I have, right? So remember, we think logically. The Father is not bound by our logic, and the Father is not bound by the circumstances. Where is your heart at? This is why I keep hammering the kingdom of heaven versus the kingdoms of men. This is why. Where is your heart at in faith with your creator, when women and children that had no clue, because they had been lied to, just like you were lied to at a point in time before you woke up, and before the Father give you the grace to go and acquire your preps, and position yourself in a place of safety, right? Where will your heart be at when there's men, women, and children, not bad folks, just desperate folks that had no clue, regular or ordinary individuals from from a major city area or whatever, and they come knocking at your gate with their children in their hands, starving. Hmm. Where will your faith be? You'll have to specific individuals. You'll have the means to provide for everybody for a time, not for the time that you thought that you would provide for those around you that you had around you to begin with for your sake and safety. You see what I'm saying? So where is your heart at in the kingdom of heaven when that happens? Where's your heart at? So this is why it's so important to practice the kingdom uh, mindset, the kingdom of the Father. This is why it's so important to invest in the kingdom of the Father now, rather than when the poop actually hits the fan. Because if you cannot handle today this question, you won't be able to handle it then, and you will eliminate innocent lives, and that blood will be on your hands. Let's think real long and hard, like I mentioned before. Let's think real long and hard about the difference between the kingdoms of man and the kingdoms of heaven. I'll go a step farther. If you have been gifted by the Father to maneuver in this physical plane, and you have the facilitations, and you to the facilitations to that others don't have, in order to position yourself in a situation of safety, you know, and provisions, physical provisions I'm talking about now. If this is what, and you believe that you're doing it for the kingdom of the Father, and the Father keeps bringing to you who you believe are people sent by the Father, but in your heart you have the greedy intent of, well, I can't have them too prosperous because then they won't serve me. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it at all, actually. But you're not serving the Father's kingdom. You're serving your own kingdom. You're serving the kingdoms of men, which, and, retrospect or whatever word is there, you're actually serving the kingdom of the devil. So I just wanted to bring this to you. This is a real question for you individuals that claim to have been preparing for such a day. Where will your heart be with your creator? I know where my heart is at. I know where my heart is at. And that's not to say that you should let just anybody in your gates. If you're in tune with the Spirit of the Father, you will know. You will know who the Father wants you to bring in, and who to extend mercy, and who to keep out and to send their way. And even that, those individuals, you will send their way with something, with some provisions. Why? Because you are the Father's people. Because the fact of the matter is that we are no different. We are no different. And if we think that the Father blesses us, I saw something that really caught my attention, and that relates to this. The tree does not bear its fruit for itself. Trees bear fruit for others to survive off of their fruit, right? Do you really think the Father blesses you with fruit? Whatever the fruit may be, do you think that the Father blesses you just for you? Another thing that I came across, uh, something to the effect, I can't remember the exact quote, but uh, It went something like this. And be grateful for the time that you have here on earth now, that you have the opportunity. There's certain things that you will not have the opportunity to do in heaven, and that will be to tend to the needs of those who need, you know, to tend to the needs of those who need. You will not have this opportunity. You will not be able to experience this anymore once you get to heaven, because in heaven there is no need. Everything's provided for you. We have such privileges now. We have such privileges and such yeah, privilege of experiencing these very, very human like events, and be a pivotal part of being a blessing in the hearts of others like us. We have opportunities as human beings today here on earth that we won't have in heaven, because in heaven we're not going to have any need. No one will have a need. So I'll leave you guys with that. Where is your heart at in the kingdom of the Father when that time comes? What will you do? What kingdom are you serving right now? This is important. This is extremely important, because you you could forfeit your salvation for being greedy on this terrestrial plane, for not having faith. You remember Jesus, how he prayed? What did he do when he was with the multitudes and they were hungry? Oh, Jesus, we gotta take a break, man. We've been walking with you for a while, and we're hungry. And Jesus pauses and says, "Okay, all right. What do we got? What was it? The 5 loaves and 3 fish, or something like that." What was the first thing Jesus did? He gave thanks. Those that have ears, those that have ears. If you consider yourself to be a leader of any kind, in a position of leadership, if you consider yourself to be placed and have been given something by the Father on purpose for the sake of others, this is for you. Just Jesus, thank the Father. He gave grace, and then they ate, and they had left over. There is no the Father's common sense is not the Father's logic is not our logic. The Father is not bound by our logic or our mathematics or our numbers. Where is your faith? He fed the 5,000, and there was food left out of 5 loaves of bread and 3 fish, something like that. Right? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that. Where is your heart at? Where's your faith at right now? Not later on, right now. Because if your faith ain't right today, it ain't gonna be right tomorrow. All right. Bless you guys.